Welcome to Forks for Thoughts. This is Nandika Ilangovan, and I'm your host for this episode. Today, I'll be interviewing Toby Cole about his time here as the school's mascot.
Hello.
So, Toby, what made you want to become the Cary High mascot in the first place?
Well, it started out in middle school. I was the school mascot for the Cardinal Charter Academy. I was the Cardinal, of course. I had a lot of fun during the basketball season and doing a little bit of extra events outside of that. And it was just something I really liked doing. When I came into high school, I heard that they were doing mascot tryouts for basketball season my freshman year, and I totally expressed interest in that. It was me and two other people that expressed interest, me, a freshman, and a senior who was already pretty active. So when I showed up to the tryouts, he didn't show up, and I was the only person there, and it became my job ever since.
Okay, and what's the hardest part about being the imp that most people wouldn't expect?
If you want a short answer, the hardest part is putting on the suit. There's a little zipper, and I kind of have to reach over and jump up and down so I make sure that the zipper is fully, zipped. It's kind of hard, and sometimes I have to ask other people.
How do you prepare before games? Any rituals or hype-up routines or anything?
Honestly, no, not anymore. Maybe when I was a freshman and sophomore, I would try and put my head in the game, but now I'm just so used to it. I don't even show up to the game with like a happy-go-lucky face anymore. I'm pretty... I have a pretty monotone kind of outlook, but as soon as I put on the suit, I turn into a different person almost, I would say. I walk different. I'm always smiling under the suit, even though no one can see it, which is a little interesting, but, not anymore do I really try and hype myself up before the games. It's just natural now.
Okay. And what advice do you have for the next mascot?
For the next mascot, I would definitely want to see someone who is, hyping up the crowd. The next mascot definitely needs to have a sort of charisma where you can show off yourself, well, without saying any words. Sometimes body language can be hard for people, but I think the next mascot, if anyone who is willing to do it, you've already shown that you're interested enough that you're more than capable of doing it.
And how do you handle the heat in that costume?
You'd actually be surprised. It's not that hot, especially during the football season. That would probably be where it is the hottest, you would think, but it's pretty enjoyable. You have a lot of wind coming in. It's hotter during the basketball season inside with all those bodies. And what I do with it to handle the heat, I just kind of go in a room where no one else is and I take the head off. Maybe we'll have some water, but it's not too bad. One time, the imp was at the NC Courage game, and that was really hot, but because it was like the middle of summer. This wasn't the football game like at Wake Med. This was a soccer game. The imp was a special guest, so this was July.
Oh.
This one was really hot, and I specifically remember it for that reason. But it wasn't too bad. I still had some breaks in. Towards the end, I was definitely getting a little bit tired, and I was a little bit worried, but, I made it through, and there were no problems.
Yeah. And Toby, tell us about your most embarrassing moment as the imp.
I definitely have some embarrassing moments. Probably some of the most embarrassing moments is just, failing a stunt. I actually did that most recently at senior night, and that was pretty embarrassing because not only did I fail the stunt, but my mask was off after I had revealed myself. So it wasn't the imp failing a stunt, it was Toby failing a stunt. That was pretty embarrassing, but, the imp and mascots in general get away with a lot of stuff. So some things where I would be embarrassed as myself, I really don't have to worry about that as the imp. So there's not too many moments, but definitely feeling a stunt is up there.
Mhm. And do you have like different energy levels at like different sport events, like football versus like basketball?
Totally. Basketball, I really like to work with the crowd, just because Gangrene is on the same level as me. I remember my sophomore year, I played lacrosse with some of the people on Gangrene, and it was really fun making fun of these people, just because it was um it was just I knew these people and they knew that I was under the suit, so we were able to be playful and it was looking fun. During football, however, uh, I really there's a lot more space to walk around, so I really just spend time walking around, saying hello, clapping hands. It's only until I get to the bleachers about halfway through where I really start the acting hype and showing energy that I would all the time during basketball since it's a little bit smaller.
And what was your best moment, like your favorite?
Oh, this is an easy question. The best moment is easily winning best high school mascot in the nation my freshman year in 2023. That was a long road and it took about like 4 or 5 weeks of voting. And I remember just asking people time and time and again to vote because you could like refresh the page and put in another ballot. Sometimes I'll look through my messages of people who I haven't texted since that time and I can just see the link. I'm like, wow, I really need to reconnect with this person. But yeah, winning that and just like all the hype around um, becoming the best high school mascot in the nation. I remember when they painted the field, number one best mascot. I felt really proud about that. Of course, I couldn't celebrate that because I had broken my leg the summer of, and I wasn't able to be the mascot until the end of that season. And there were also multiple things that came of being the best high school mascot in the nation that I have to thank because of that voting, which was like becoming the grand marshal for the Cary Christmas parade. That was a lot of fun. I got to ride in this really nice red Corvette. That was a really nice car, and it was just a lot of hype around that end of freshman, beginning of sophomore year.
Did you think you would win best mascot?
I really had no idea, but once we got through like the first 2 rounds of voting, and we absolutely schooled them too. It was like 60,000 votes to like 2 or 5,000.
Wow.
We had a lot. We had a big backing in Cary. I remember my mother. She constantly posted on Facebook like, vote for my son and vote for the imp, and we had a lot of support. It wasn't until like the final couple rounds where it got pretty challenging. I remember I guess the semifinals, it was pretty close until like the last day. And then in the finals, we actually, the team that was cheating, or I'm sorry, the team that we were facing was cheating. They had a script in there that was like constantly putting in votes. And I remember someone had looked it up. The mascot of that like town or high school was like a town of like 6,000 people. So I remember a couple people have emailed the website or the company that was running it. It was Sportsbook Live that was running it, and they were like, "Hey, this team that we're facing is cheating. Their votes are legitimate." And I guess they had checked it out because they'd removed all of our votes on both sides, and then I guess they like figured a way to stop the script from running because we ended up beating them like 120,000 to like 6,000. So after they had fixed it, it was really easy. And that was a really good moment, just like that final round.
Hmm. What do you think you'll miss most about it when you graduate?
I think I'll miss most, or what I'll miss most, is just seeing the little kids that are all really excited to high five or hug the amp. that's always one of my favorite moments during football season, just because I guess it's all the coaches' kids or something that they're playing around on the home side, and they're just always run up to me. I always really enjoyed that. Um, Another thing I'll miss is scaring those same kids. Uh, I always love to do that just because the imp is a scary mascot. Like that face scared me when I was a child. So sometimes I'm a little confused why some kids aren't scared enough. But yeah, I'll definitely miss interacting with the crowd the most. Um, Little kids or high schoolers. But yeah, definitely interacting with the crowd is what I'll miss.
Well, how has being the mascot changed you as a person?
Um, I wouldn't say it's necessarily changed me too much, but I totally have gained a lot of respect for the school, and I've gained a lot of school pride. Um, I don't know how many people have really been a mascot, especially for 4 years. So there's something about that really just shows with my character. I totally put it in my college applications. Like, I think it's either my third or fourth activity. Um, I really wanted to hone in on that because, again, how many people have been their high school mascot for either that long or even in general? Uh, it's definitely been something that's kind of just been special to me. Like, a couple other people have done it during these 4 years, but not much. And it was just something that, I could say, like, I'm the imp, and the imp is me. That was something that's probably changed me the most.
And when you started off in freshman year as the mascot, like, did you know, like, then itself that you wanted to do it all 4 years, or did that just like?
Yeah. I think in freshman year, I totally thought about that. There was a lot of hype around it freshman year. Like, we had named the imp to Guy that year. We really personified the imp as a mascot as a person at this school that year. Um, I totally wanted to do it all 4 years. Up until maybe about sophomore year, when I had broken my leg and I wasn't doing it, I was kind of like, maybe I'm done, maybe I'm not. Of course, I wasn't done, but there have been times where I was thinking, like, should I keep going and doing this? But I stayed true. So I would say there have been times, but I haven't ever followed through with them.
Okay. And do you see yourself doing something similar in college, like being the mascot again or representing your school like that?
Yeah, whatever college I go to, I'm definitely gonna have a lot of school pride. College game day, football or basketball is a lot more fun than anything you can do in high school. But I definitely do want to go to a lot of those games. I have kind of thought about being in college. I'm taking a little step back, but I'm certainly going to look into it, especially with Mr. Wolf. That's a cool mascot. Yosef from App State, he's cool. I think it's Petey the Pirate, he's cool. So there's a lot of cool mascots in North Carolina that I would totally be up for it, but I don't know. It's a lot more rigorous of a child, I bet. I feel like there are a lot more people that would want to do it, a lot more agile people and people who might have danced, um, not coming from a small tryout like Carey High. But yeah, I would totally look into it. I don't know if I would really stay with it, or even if I never made it, I don't think I would really care that much. But yeah, I would totally want to look into being the mascot at a college.
And final question, what are your takeaways from this experience?
Um, my takeaways are pretty simple, and I think I maybe said them before about like what changed me as a person, but just like showing school spirit and just kind of being there for the crowd, less as much as like the team, but just being there for the crowd and just being an extra person there. It's really important, and I think like it is noticed. Um, Sometimes I worried, as is anyone really noticing me being the mascot, me being this giant green suit, or could I just be in the student section up with my friends? But every time I would think that, I would realize that no, this really is noticeable. And yeah, I would say that's my biggest takeaway, is just showing up for the school, for the crowd, and just being there as a person. That's my biggest takeaway.
Okay, thank you, Toby. Thanks for listening to Forks for Thoughts with Nandika, and tune in next time at chsthepage.com.